Family and friends of the workers who are still trapped when a building under construction collapsed at George in the Western Cape say that they need answers about their loved ones. They say that they do not know whether their relatives are trapped, deceased or in hospital. Meanwhile, the Labour Minister, Thulas Nxesi, says that the owner of the collapsed building will be thoroughly investigated. At least 8 people have died, 29 injured in the collapse on Monday. 44 people, mainly construction workers, are still missing. Health Minister Dr. Joe Phaahla also will visit the site today. Now, for the latest on that building collapse and the ongoing rescue operation, we cross live now to SABC News reporter Vanessa Poonah. Vanessa, good morning. And as we've done every morning this week, let's just start by taking stock of what developments there may have been overnight.
Yes, good morning to you. And we are on site again this morning. You'll know we are entering day 5 since this tragedy struck on Monday. Of course, at the moment behind me, you will see that efforts to lift tons and tons of concrete slabs, drilling, etc. is still underway. Of course, those 44 people still unaccounted for. We are entering close to the 90-hour mark since the building collapsed behind me, of course, apartment building. And on site we have various role players. I see the MEC for local government, Anton Bredal, as well as the Western Cape Police Commissioner. And then right now I'm going to speak to the Western Cape Premier Alan Winde for an update with regards to the operations here and also the steps going forward for today. A very warm good morning to you, Premier. Thank you for joining us. Of course, it has been a non-stop effort since Monday afternoon when this building collapsed, and of course still those 44 people unaccounted for. One doesn't want to say, but it does seem as though time may be very critical in terms of finding survivors under the rubble.
Yeah, but I mean, we're not giving up. This remains a rescue site. We're keeping on going. Sort of early this morning, talking to the jock and those in charge. We keep on going, and every now and again you'll hear it keep quiet. A void will open. Someone goes in and goes to check and see. So we'll just obviously keep going. More and more big machineries moving in. It's day 5, but there's an intensity to it, and we'll keep that intensity. And I stand here and I'm in awe of the volunteers, but then of course of the professionals who just keep going. They don't stop. We've got rows of trucks standing here, removing rubble as quickly as we can, so we can move to the next layer. I stand here and I look at these rows of trucks and I think, wow, this is just amazing operation. I look at these big machines, I look at the jock behind me in that bus, and these professionals are just working day and night. And then of course the volunteers. I've always got to come up with the volunteers. South Africans, we just are such amazing people. When a disaster strikes, people just stand up and do it, and it's just amazing.
Premier, our colleagues from the SABC spoke to some relatives late yesterday, and there seems to be an air of frustration among relatives because they claim that at this point, they're not really getting the information that they seek in terms of the status of their loved ones. Can you give us an update with regards to the process which is being followed in keeping relatives that are still uncertain about the whereabouts of their family members? What process is unfolding at the moment?
Okay, so obviously they still are, in the same place. They were getting, updates. First of all, regular updates. So we narrowed that down from 6 hours to 3 hours. And of course, immediate updates once something happens. If someone's identified, we go back in and, bring out that individual family. The social workers then have got their role to play, take them to the hospital or whatever. But I do have one update overnight. One of the critically injured patients has passed on, so we've now got a death toll of 9. So that critical number from 16 came down to 15. So unfortunately, that's another tragic step forward. But we obviously have got a very professional team here, and I can understand their frustration because they are panicked, and every hour that goes by they are more and more worried. But we will just keep on interacting. we will. I'll personally go and engage again with the social workers and with the families, and we've obviously all just got to stand together and hold them, and hold them as best as we can while they are going through this traumatic experience, because they just don't know.
Premier, thank you for your time this morning. Of course, the Western Cape Premier Alan Winde giving us an update and just confirmed that a ninth person has succumbed following this tragedy. Of course, this area is still a crime scene, and I'm going to bring in very briefly just the Western Cape Provincial Commissioner Tebisile Patekile just to give us an update with regards to the investigation thus far. General, very warm good morning to you. Of course, is still a crime scene. What can you tell us with regards to the investigation thus far, the role of police as the search and rescue operation continues here behind us at 75 Victoria Street?
Good morning to you and the viewers out there. The SAPS, we treat this place as a crime scene, and therefore in first place we ensure that we cordon off the scene, protect the scene, and protect the people that are working inside so that they can do the job. Firstly, everything that has to be done. Now we've set up a team of investigators to start the investigation, but it's at a very initial stage because we rely firstly to ensure that the scene, we have recovered every body or bodies and every person that is supposed. So once that is done, then we begin to follow up all the other leads. But we start with small investigation right now as we move, and hearing this one is as passed on, these have been released and we taking care interviewing those. But we are on the board with it, and we are getting the cooperation to everybody else here, and especially because we are actually supporting the disaster, and with our search and rescue teams and our canines that are here, they are actually integrated into the system to ensure that the scene is done thoroughly.
Thank you so much for your time this morning, General Patekile. Of course, the Western Cape Police Commissioner giving us an update with regards to where matters stand around this crime scene, and also just to give us an update with regards to the death toll now. We spoke to the Premier, but earlier, of course, Western Cape Premier Alan Winde confirming that unfortunately a ninth person, one of those that were critically injured, had passed away overnight.
Thanks so much for that latest update. Vanessa Poonah speaking to us from George in the Western Cape. And of course, as we've been doing all week, we will keep you abreast of those developments.